conference is organized by the Indian Water Resources Society IWRS and Department of Water Resources Development and Management WRDM IIT Roorkee. Deen Dayal Research Institute DRI is our knowledge partner. I'm Kritika Kothari, Treasurer IWRS and Assistant Professor at WRDM. I would like to begin the conference by welcoming the dignitaries on the dais. Professor Vijaypal Singh, Professor Apurva Kumar Sharma, Dr. M.K. Goyal, Sri Atul Jain, Dr. R.P. Singh, Dr. S.K. Ambas, Professor Ashish Pandey, and Professor Basant Yadav. Now, keeping up with the Indian tradition of lighting the lamps before any major event to seek divine blessings, I kindly request all the dignitaries to please come forward to light the lamps, please. I request the students to please bring the candles. Thank you, everyone. Now, I would like to request Professor Ashish Pandey and Professor Basant Yadav to please welcome our guest with a bouquet of flowers and shawl. Professor V.P. Singh, Texas A&M University. Professor Apurva Sharma, Acting Director, IIT Roorkee. Dr. R.P. Singh, Director, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing. Dr. Manmohan K. Goyal. Dr. S.K. Ambast, Chairman, CGWB. Shri Atul Jain ji, Shri Atul Jain ji, General Secretary, DRI. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request everyone to please stand for the Kulgeet of IIT Roorkee, which was penned by the legendary Sumitra Nandan Pant ji. So Kulgeet, please.
जयति जयति विद्यासंस्थान जयति जयति विद्यासंस्थान गिरिशृंगो से अभिनंदित गंगा करते कलगा जयति जयति विद्यासंस्थान जयति जयति विद्यासंस्थान शिक्षा आदर्शों में उन्नत जीवन शिल्पी भूरचनारत शिक्षा आदर्शों में उन्नत जीवन शिल्पी भूरचनारत श्रमं विदान किमपि साधनरत यंत्र कला कौशलभियान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जन जीवन प्रासाद उठाकर सेतु बांध भूखंड जुड़ाकर जन जीवन प्रासाद उठाकर सेतु बांध भूखंड जुड़ाकर अंतरिक्ष में यान उड़ाकर को देता आह्वान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान सर्वजन हित जीवन मित्र अर्पित धरा स्वर्ग शोभा निर्मित सर्वजन हित जीवन मित्र अर्पित धरा स्वर्ग शोभा निर्मित विज्ञान भूपर लाता स्वर्ण विमान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान प्रेरणा से दीपित मन नव स्वप्नों से हर्षित लोचन नई प्रेरणा से दीपित मन नव स्वप्नों से हर्षित लोचन नई सत्य की पुर में राष्ट्र जीवन कल्याण जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान गिरिशृंगो से अभिनंदित गंगा जय करते कल्याण जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान जयति जयति विद्या संस्थान.
Thank you, everyone. Now you may sit. So, moving on, and now I would like to invite Professor Ashish Pandey, Bharat Singh Chair Professor and Head of the WRDM Department and Executive Vice President of IWRS for the welcome address.
Thank you, Professor Kritika. I welcome Professor Vijaypal Singh, Texas A&M University. I welcome Professor Apurva Sharma, Acting Director, IIT Roorkee. I welcome Dr. S.K. Ambast, Chairman, Central Groundwater Board. I welcome Director NIH, Dr. Goyal, Director Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dr. R.P. Singh, and General Secretary, Deen Dayal Research Institute, Sri Atul Jain ji, and my colleague, Professor Basant, Professor Kritika, all the keynote speakers from India and abroad, our IWRS awardee, media person, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to welcome you all in the inaugural function of International Conference on Future of Water Resources. This conference we are organizing to mark the 45 years of Indian Water Resources Society, jointly with Department of WRDM, IIT Roorkee, and DRI as a knowledge partner. As we all know that, without saying, water is very important subject. So looking to the need of country, the Department of Water Resource Development and Management was established in 1955 as Afro-Asian Center. Earlier it was WRDTC, Water Resource Development and Training Center. Now it has been renamed as Water Resource Development and Management. In last 65 years, the department has provided education to Afro-Asian countries, and till date we have trained around 3,000 engineers from 55 different countries. The department is running 3 master degree programs: water resource development, irrigation water management, and recently introduced drinking water and sanitation. Department has actively contributed towards development of many projects of national and international importance. Department is also doing cutting edge research, remote sensing GIS application, artificial intelligence, and all the new techniques which are used for modern sciences. Our faculty colleagues and students are using. And the most important thing, our students are placed in very high positions and almost across whole world. IWRS is just like our baby, so we always try to do some activity through IWRS so that somehow we can help the society. WRDM faculty colleagues are always coming forward to help the IWRS activity. Our department was established by Dr. A.N. Khosla, and Dr. Khosla was also responsible for opening the Central Water Commission. So we are also having very good interaction with Central Water Commission, and our department is acting like a knowledge partner of Central Water Commission and Ministry. Due to certain unavoidable reason, our President, Sri Kushvinder Vora, could not attend this program, but he has conveyed his best wishes for this program, and he has apologized for not attending this function. And actually, he was involved from the scratch of this program. So, but due to certain emergencies, he could not join this program. Similarly, earlier, our Minister for Jal Shakti was also planning to attend this function, but due to certain emergencies, he could not attend this function, but he has sent his best wishes for this conference. Once again, I welcome you all in IIT campus, and I hope that the outcome of this conference will be of immense use for water resource planning and management of our country. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Pandey. Now I would like to invite Professor Basant Yadav, Assistant Professor WRDM, Secretary IWRS, and Organizing Secretary of the conference, to please tell us more about the event.
Thank you, Professor Kritika. Professor VP Singh, Professor Apurva Kumar Sharma, Director in charge IIT Roorkee, Sri S.K. Ambas, Chairman CGWB, Dr. R.P. Singh, Director IRS, Dr. M.K. Goyal, Director NIH, Sri Atul Jain, General Secretary, and Professor Ashish Pandey, Executive Vice President IWRS and Head Department of WRDM. All the dignitaries, delegates, guests, students, and other present in the inaugural function. I, Basant Yadav, Secretary IWRS and faculty in the Department of WRDM, welcome you all in this function. I stand before you today with great pleasure and excitement as we celebrate the remarkable journey of Indian Water Society, founded in 1980, with the vision and mission to collaborate on water source advancement through research, learning, and education addressing conservation and rural development. It communicates planning on our contributors and engage in socioeconomic and policy issues. IWRS has its headquarters in Department of WRDM and has local center in most of the cities in India. Presently, IWRS has about 8,000 live members, 1,478 fellow members, over 42 institutional members from all over the country. In the last 5 years, IWRS has organized many national and international conferences and workshops. This international conference on future of water source is set to take place from January 18 to 2024, organized by IWRS in collaboration with the Department of WRDM, Roorkee, IIT Roorkee. This event marks its 45th anniversary of IWRS, bringing together experts, scientists, policymakers, and stakeholders to address critical challenges in the water sector. The conference focuses on vital water management themes, including availability of surface water and groundwater, effect of supply and demand management, virtual water dynamics, contamination, disaster, socioeconomic and cultural integration and research, and addressing data monitoring challenges with the latest analysis technique. In the next 3 days, we will have 11 plenary sessions. A few of them we have already done today, with 32 keynote speakers from India and abroad to address critical issues, emerging trends, and the potential solution, contributing to a holistic understanding of the future of water source. The conference will also have 2 technical sessions, with each with 6 parallel sessions covering over 110 presentations from delegates and students coming from various prestigious institutes in India. Apart from this, 2 poster sessions are also scheduled on day 2 and 3, with having over 40 posters. The conference has also 2 special sessions, first by the Deen Dayal Research Institute, which also is the knowledge partner of this conference, covering topics like traditional wisdom, water policy, global water source management, impact on climate change, and horticulture for sustainable development. Second, on impact of climate change on water resource system of the Indus Basin under the aegis of Bharat Singh Chair, jointly organized by with NIH Roorkee. The conference has also received support from various sponsors: NMCG, Ministry of Jal Shakti, SERB, Ministry of Earth Science, CSIR, Uttarakhand State for Council and Science and Technology, Bhakra Vyas Management Board, Power Finance Corporation, National Hydropower Corporation, Indraprasth Gas Limited, and Hindustan Petroleum Limited. The conference is also supported by technical sponsors such as ADK Instruments, AML Instruments, DHI, Flatcon, and IdeaForge. The program schedule is given in the separate booklet and has been provided to all the keynote speakers and participants. It is also available at the conference website. In case of any assistance, you may contact through email or phone number provided at the IWS website and in conference booklet. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Professor Yadav. Now I would like to give a brief introduction about our next speaker. Dr. Manmohan Kumar Goyal is presently the Director of National Institute of Hydrology at Roorkee. He is Scientist G in Groundwater Hydrology Division of NIH. He has over 33 years of experience in water resources planning and management, hydrological studies, reservoir operation and sedimentation, irrigation water management, river basin planning and management, and remote sensing and GIS applications in hydrology. So with this brief introduction, I would like to invite Dr. Goyal for his address. Over to you.
Thank you. Respected chief guest on the dais, learned guests, all our senior delegates present here, distinguished conference delegates. I, on my behalf and on behalf of our institute, in this slide, we all have shared our vision for the sector for the at nodal level. At this juncture, this conference is on the topic future of water resources being organized is a very appropriate, timely, and well thought of step. It will help the water professionals to discuss the future plans and strategies to successfully execute the vision of our Prime Minister. I congratulate Dr. Ashish, the organizers, and his team for untiring efforts and great arrangements in a very short time span. His energy is really an inspiration for all of us. I congratulate the team and wish the conference a great success. Thank you.
Thank you for your best wishes, Dr. Goyal. Our next speaker represents the Deen Dayal Research Institute, DRI, which is a premier voluntary organization that engages in socio-economic and applied research. DRI was founded in 1968 by social scientist and philosopher Nanaji Deshmukh on the principles enunciated by late Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji through his philosophy of integral humanism or Ekdam Manav Darshan. Our next speaker, Shri Atul Jain ji, is an academic, a media consultant, and a social worker who is presently serving as the General Secretary of DRI. He has worked as journalist with various mainstream newspapers and has produced more than 200 episodes of television programs. He has been the editor of Manthan and also advisor in many government institutions. He is a member in the advisory board of World SDG Forum that curates proven interventions that help achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals. He is also a member of the Standing Committee on CSO of Niti Aayog. As the Chief Executive of DRI, he has been actively contributing to applied research in various issues pertaining to rural lives, including agriculture, rural entrepreneurship, watershed development, water conservation, health, and hygiene. And he's also working towards making policy interventions in such matters based on the experience gained through field work and interaction with the rural India. So with this brief introduction, it is my pleasure to invite Shri Atul Jain ji for his address.
आप सभी को एक बार पुनः नमस्कार। आदरणीय मंच और डिस्टिंग्विश्ड ऑडियंस, अभी मैं अपना जो सब्जेक्ट जिस पर मुझे बात करनी थी उससे पिछले सेशन में डिस्कस कर ही चुका हूं, उसको एक बार बस ब्रीफली रिकैप करता हूं। इट्स अबाउट द कंटेम्पोराइजेशन ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल विजडम vis-a-vis वाटर। तो उसमें हम लोगों ने ये बताया कि किस तरीके से हम देश के सभी हिस्सों में जाकर वाटर विजडम के नगेट्स, उसके रिचुअल्स, कस्टम्स वगैरह सब उनका डॉक्यूमेंटेशन किया, उनको कंपाइल किया, उनका पब्लिकेशन किया और उसको कंटेम्पोराइज करने के लिए, उसको प्रेजेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट में रखने के लिए हम लोग आईआईटी जैसे इंस्टीट्यूशंस को एक्सहॉर्ट करते हैं, उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि आप आइए, उनको आगे किस तरीके से कोई एक हम ऐसा मैकेनिज्म डेवलप करें कि उनको नए पर्सपेक्टिव में, करंट पर्सपेक्टिव में रखा जा सके। वो मुझे बहुत खुशी है IWRS ने हम लोगों को इस लायक समझा, DRI को एक ये मौका दिया यहाँ कर अपनी बातचीत कहने के लिए, खासतौर पर प्रोफेसर आशीष पांडे जी जिन्होंने इस बारे में बहुत लंबे समय से हमारे साथ में चर्चा रखी। मैं DRI के बारे में एक छोटा सा आपको इंट्रोडक्शन दूं। जैसे कृतिका जी ने बताया, नाना जी ने इसकी स्थापना की 1968 में और वो बेसिकली इट्स अ सम टोटल ऑफ द गुडनेस ऑफ इंडिया, द कल्चरल इंडिया, वो सब कुछ उसमें है। उसी को हम लोग इंटीग्रेट करने की, उसको एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली देखने की, एक होलिस्टिक मैनर में देखने का और उसको प्रैक्टिस करने का हम लोग गांवों में प्रयास करते हैं। चित्रकूट हम लोगों का एक बहुत बड़ा सेंटर है जहां हम 512 विलेजेस में, विलेजर्स के बीच में काम कर रहे हैं। बीड डिस्ट्रिक्ट है महाराष्ट्र में, ईस्टर्न यूपी में गोंडा डिस्ट्रिक्ट है और साइमल्टेनियसली हमारा ये रहता है कि हम गांव वालों से देश भर में जो कुछ भी सीखते हैं वो एक दूसरी जगह जाकर शेयर करना, आप जैसे ज्ञानी लोगों के बीच में, विज्ञानियों के बीच में शेयर करना और फिर कुछ ऐसा करना कि जहां हम लोग उनको मिलकर इकट्ठे कुछ नए सिरे से, नए भारत के लिए हम उनको कैसे कंटेम्पोराइज को प्रेजेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट में रख सकते हैं, कल्चरली हम लोग उसके साथ जुड़े रहें, उसको अप्रोप्रिएट रखें तब भी। तो ये हम लोगों का एक प्रयास रहता है। IIT रुड़की के साथ हम लोगों का इस बारे में एक MOU भी हुआ है जिसमें हम लोगों ने निवेदन किया था IIT से कि आप आए और अपना एक्सपर्टीज गांवों में और रूरल टेक्नोलॉजी पर, खास तौर पर उसको किस तरीके से, जिसको हम एप्रोप्रिएट टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर रूरल डेवलपमेंट कह सकते हैं, उसको कैसे सचमुच में अप्लाई किया जा सकता है। क्योंकि बहुत बार ऐसा देखने में हम लोगों को आया कि बहुत सारी टेक्नोलॉजीज डेवलप हुई और फिर वो लेबोरेटरी तक रह जाती हैं या उन इंस्टीट्यूशंस के प्रेसिंक्ट्स में ही रह जाती हैं। तो हम लोगों का एक ऐसा प्रयास रहता है। हम सच में देखें तो अपने देश में एक भूमिका होती थी नाई की। आप लोगों को ध्यान होगा जैसे आजकल शादी.com होता है, मैट्रिमोनियल, वो कि अच्छे अच्छे लोगों को उनके बीच में रिश्ता बनाना और फिर सबको काम करने देना, उनको रिश्तेदारी निभाने देना। दीनदयाल शोध संस्थान कुछ इसी तरीके की एक जिम्मेदारी हम लोगों ने अपने ऊपर ली है। तो हम गांव के लोगों के बीच में काम करते हैं और उनसे सीखते हैं, उनके फीडबैक लेते हैं, उनकी जरूरतों को, उनकी एस्पिरेशंस को आप जैसे लोगों के बीच में रखते हैं। फिर जहां टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंटरवेंशंस की जरूरत होती है उस पर एक प्रयास करते हैं। जहां पॉलिसी इंटरवेंशंस की जरूरत होती है तो सब का इकट्ठा ज्ञान लिया, उसको फिर मिलाकर, फिर उसको मंथन करके उसमें से जो चर्ण होता है करने के बाद में उसको फिर सरकार के सामने या जिस एजेंसी के सामने परोसना होता है वहां उनके सामने रखते हैं। फिर प्रयास करते हैं कि वो भी किसी ना किसी तरीके से पॉलिसी लेवल्स में आए। तो जैसे हमारा दीनदयाल शोध संस्थान का एक बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट इस तरीके का था मिलेट्स पर, 2017 में हम लोगों ने ये शुरू किया था कि मिलेट्स किस तरीके से भारत का अपना अन्न है, वो किस तरीके से हमारे नेटिव ग्रेन्स हैं, वो हमारी इकोलॉजी को, हमारे डीएनए को कैसे सूट करते हैं, हमारे रिसोर्सेस के साथ कैसे मेल खाते हैं। हमने उस पर एक 4 दिन की वर्कशॉप की शिलोंग में, सभी तरीके के साइंटिस्ट्स को बुलाया, सोशल साइंटिस्ट्स भी उसमें एक हिस्सा थे बड़े। फिर मिलके जो रिकमेंडेशंस हुई सरकार के साथ शेयर की, एंड वी आर ग्रेटफुल टू द ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर जिन्होंने इन सब चीजों को स्वीकार किया। इसी तरीके से वाटर विजडम के मामले में जितने भी हम लोगों को चीजें देखने में मिली देश में, और ट्रेडिशनल वाटर विजडम जो है बहुत डीप रूटेड है और बहुत टाइम टेस्टेड है। सचमुच में देखें तो वो लोग उसके साथ में जिस तरीके की बॉन्डिंग रखते हैं, प्यार रखते हैं, और कम्युनिटीज किस तरीके से उनको मेंटेन करती हैं गांवों में, वो एक ऐसी देखने वाली चीज है जिसको आईआईटी जैसे इंस्टीट्यूशंस को कहीं ना कहीं एक पायलट प्रोजेक्ट के तरीके से देखना चाहिए, उसको एडॉप्ट करना चाहिए, और उसमें समय के अनुसार जहां जहां पे भी इम्प्रोवाइजेशन की जरूरत है उनको भी करने का एक प्रयास करें। दीनदयाल रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट ने आपको इसके लिए ऑफर करता है। आप जहां भी हम लोगों की इस बारे में मदद लेना चाहें, हम लोग उसके लिए हमेशा तैयार हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच। नमस्कार।
Thank you so much, Sri Atul Jain ji. It was a wonderful and inspiring speech. Next, I would like to give a brief introduction about our next guest. Dr. R.P. Singh is currently serving as the director of Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun. Prior to joining IIRS, he served as the group director at the Space Application Center, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, Ahmedabad. And Dr. Singh was the member of Indian Mars mission team. He was the principal investigator of the Thermal Infrared Imaging Spectrometer instrument, where he led the scientific analysis of the data from the Mars orbiter mission. He is the recipient of the prestigious Professor P.R. Pishroti Memorial Award 2005 of the Indian Society of Remote Sensing. So I'll keep the intro short, and with this introduction, I would like to invite Dr. R.P. Singh for his address.
Good evening to all of you, dignitaries on dais, the delegates of the conference, and dear students. First of all, let me congratulate the organizers for organizing this particular conference with a very important theme of future of the water resources. We all know this is one of the themes which needs maximum attention, particularly in the current situation. And I also take this opportunity to thank the organizers, particularly Professor Pandey, who gave me opportunity to learn many things from which I'm listening from the morning and share my views with you. Generally, from the earlier speakers, I have found we were all emphasizing the importance of water. And it is not only the water which is important, it's more important that it is very limited to us. Particularly talk about India, we came to know from Director NIH, we have approximately 4,000 BCM available to us, and that we cannot increase. But with the time, as the population is growing up, obviously our per capita is going to decrease. Not only the amount per capita is decreasing, we all knew from the different lectures that it is the quality of water which also started decreasing. So it is not only the quality, we have started drawing more and more water from our ground, which were not, there in earlier cases, what we call the problem of groundwater depletions. So as the population is growing, we are getting challenges over the challenges. Although we could know that there are some ways, ways were discussed that we have to have a river interlinkages and reuse of water, many other things. Another very important aspect what we learned from today, at least I learned, it was a good lessons to me, that it is the climate change which we are polluting our environment, which is indirect effect is going to take place on the water. And obviously that will also evaporate more water from our surfaces and do many other things which we have to model. I totally agree to Professor VP Singh sir that we have to address the different dimensions of hydrology. He beautifully summarized to us that how different dimensions of data science, hydrological science, the integration between the subjects and modeling and forecasting. These are the various dimensions we all have to knit them together then to get the actual solutions to us. I belong to Indian Space Research Organization, and in this regard, this organization is working hard in this direction, particularly on the availability of data. And many of you must be knowing that in this current year, 2023, the last year was a very successful year for ISRO. We had missions like Chandrayaan-3, Aditya-1. Currently, we have a ASPOSAT mission. So ISRO is moving in this directions of innovative researches. But many people think that ISRO works for satellites and rockets only. But truth is that most of this technology is there to solve the societal problem. Water is one of that. I just like to brief that today's, in fact, next month only, we are going to have a satellite called INSAT 3DS, which is a continuity mission, and it will going to integrate, upgrade the existing system of our rainfall measurement system. We all understand that hydrology totally depends upon the rainfall. In fact, after a few months only, we are going to have another mission called NISAR mission, which is a dedicated radar mission. And from there onwards, we are going to have operational products of soil moisture. My colleague, Dr. P.K. Gupta, is a leading scientist there, and their team has proposed a regular products coming from that NISAR mission. So a hydrologist or the modelers need not go into actual calculations. Those products will be available in future onwards. In the same manner, there is another satellite being planned called Trishna mission, which will come in it is in the process of that. It is a collaboration with CNES, which we call Trishna mission, which is dedicatedly for evapotranspiration. What I mean to say that, in the total understanding of the hydrological cycle, data and conversion into information is an important ingredient. Satellites are playing the role, and they are growing much bigger and more in frequency. They are going to be constellation in future. So looking at all those things, there will be available products of rainfall, the water level, soil moisture. Currently, they are also there, but their frequency, their precision, their accuracy is going to be improved. So I see a big future in the hydrological understanding of various processes. Yeah, I do believe that it is not the only one technique which can provide the solution. We have to integrate. And integration means integration of ground networks, integration of satellite, integration of model, integration of data in form of assimilation. I hope once we work together, there will be a system that we should forecast our real-time fluxes, our real-time situation of water processes, and we should be able to predict the availability of water in terms of storage or the flows. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. R.P. Singh. Our next speaker is Dr. Sunil Kumar Ambast, who is the chairman of Central Groundwater Board, Government of India. He began his research with improving irrigation efficiency in Bhakra system and land and water management in rain-fed Chhattisgarh plains and Chota Nagpur plateau. Later, in rain-fed Sundarbans Delta, he worked on diagnosing the nature of surface water logging, modeling soil water balance for design of OFR, surface drainage improvement, supplemental irrigation requirement, and optimal land water use for maximizing net farmers' profit. In addition to several journal publications and developing software such as RainSim, he has also developed international projects in collaboration with the Japanese government and also an Indo-Dutch project. He has received several awards for his contributions, including ICAR's Vasant Rao Nayak Award, Jawaharlal Nehru Fellowship, ICAR's Dr. Rajendra Prasad Puraskar, and Bhasha Gaurav Award, to name a few. And however, the list of awards is long, but I'll keep this short, and I would like to invite Dr. Ambas for his address.
Thank you, Professor Kritika. Very distinguished dais and the learned delegates. First of all, greetings from the Central Groundwater Board to all the delegates who are here to attend this international conference. The moment we talk of India and water, three rivers comes to our mind: Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. The river Saraswati is associated with the goddess Saraswati. And goddess Saraswati is symbolically for knowledge, jnana. River Yamuna is associated with God Krishna. And Krishna is always associated with karma, action. The river Ganga is associated with Shiva. And Shiva is always associated with rituals, practices. And if we synergize all the three rivers, it says the knowledge should turn into action and the action should turn into practices. Unfortunately, the river Saraswati disappeared. The knowledge disappeared. Traditional knowledge we lost. And I am very much thankful on this dais, Mr. Atul Jain, who is trying to revive it. It's a wonderful opportunity to meet with him. I also want to say Professor Raghavan Singh, who talked about the recent technological basically interventions. I think we need to come out with traditional wisdom and the newer techniques, the synergy of that to manage our water resources. It is time that not only the traditional wisdom, but also the newer techniques, modeling, artificial neural networks, artificial intelligence, machine learning, whatever the possible ways to make our rivers, our water as a future water resources, as a water secured nation by 2050, our efforts should be towards that. And I think this international conference is very, very timely. And this international conference on the future water resources, I congratulate the organizers of this conference, especially the IWRS and the IIT Roorkee, National Institute of Hydrology, for conceptualizing it and bringing it in the form of conference. In the next 3 days, we are going to discuss the various aspects of the water, and I am very sure that it will lead to the very fruitful discussions and will recommend a few actionable recommendations, which will be ultimately helpful to the ministries for the formulation of the policies. I especially want to thank the organizers, particularly Professor Ashish Pandey and Professor Vasant Yadav, for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to be here among with you. Thank you very much. Once again, all the best to the participants. This is going to be a very educative conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ambast. Now I would like to invite the Acting Director of IIT Roorkee, Professor Apurv Sharma. He's a professor in the Mechanical and Industrial Engineering Department of IIT Roorkee. He has been serving the IIT fraternity in different capacities, including as Dean of Academic Affairs and Coordinator of Design Innovation Center. He's an expert in advanced manufacturing and microwave materials processing. He has several journal publications and industry patents to his credit. For this brief introduction, I would like to invite Professor Sharma to please grace the event with your speech.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Very distinguished guest on the dais, off the dais, representatives from the ministries, my colleagues from outside the institute, my own colleagues here, other scientists coming from all over the world to this institute, other researchers, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to this institute, this historic institute of 177-year-old history. This is, weather-wise, it is a bit harsh these days. Last couple of days, it has been a bit cold. However, I don't think Roorkee will be sort of giving you warmth on this occasion, as is always been. This is an institute of 177-year-old history, and I would like to mention for those who are not very familiar with the history of this institute. Today is the theme of this international conference is Future of Water Resources, and the very beginning of this institute is also connected to water. It was it was an institute for training some personnel, technical personnel. When the Ganga Canal construction started, then the government was feeling that there was sort of shortage of technical manpower. So they were mulling about different ideas. And then one they found is why not to have one institute very near to the source of this Ganga, that is at Roorkee, to train the manpower. And that is the very origin of this institute. And in due course of time, it has undergone several transformations. First, it was started with a kind of training institute, then a kind of diploma institute, then a college of civil engineering, then an University of Roorkee. And with that name, probably this institute produced more graduates, and they are all over the world now. And since 2001, this institute has been converted as an IIT. So therefore, it's a long history, and I welcome you all to this institute once again, which is now having 23 departments, catering to the needs of 10,000 plus students at this moment. We have 9 academic departments. We are offering right now 61 graduate programs, master's programs, and 18 UG programs. Just coming academic year onwards, we have added 2 more UG programs. One will be on energy technology, and the other one will be on design. So that's how our institute is evolving day by day. And last couple of years, we have added number of new programs And that includes one program in this department itself, that is WRDM. And that program is on, as my colleague, Professor Pandey, already mentioned, that is on drinking water and sanitation with the active support of the ministry. We are thankful to the ministry also for this. It's not that only a program that is like related to water or drinking water. There are many other programs which are related to the welfare of the society, which are related to the issues of the villages, of the country, other than the country. As my colleague Professor Pandey has already stated, we are known for providing education to like learners from different countries. People do come to this institute for having different education at different level. Of course, at undergraduate level, the number is less. However, at PG, we are one of the institutions, leading institutions in the country, who are providing highest number of students as the graduates of our different programs. And amongst the CFTI, we have the highest number of international students. I was just listening to Mr. Atul Jain. So he was talking about many programs, many welfare activities related to villages and so on. And just I would like to mention here that we have recently revamped our programs, curricula for UG as well as PG. And both these curricula are now centered around one more theme, that is societal connect. It is aligned with our National Education Policy 2020. We need to have project-based education. We need to have learning by doing. And at the same time, we cannot afford to have education which is delinked from the society. And that's what exactly what our new curricula are aiming for. We have designed the curricula in such a way that it's not that only just a matter of mention of our society that yes, we are doing something or we will be doing something, but we have directly connected our program, our curricula with the requirements for graduation. We have made it mandatory for earning credits for the students for graduating, which will be earned through societal work, going to the society or to the villages or to the nearby places, and then solving some society related issues. And those issues may be of water related, maybe of sanitation related, maybe of different dimension. However, we have linked it and we have made it a kind of mandatory requirement for our students to go to the villages or the nearby society and start solving their problem, provide the solution to their problem, and at the same time get enriched by the experiences and also get the credit for that, academic credit for that. So that's what we are trying to do. And I'm sure next 3 days there will be very hectic academic schedules. Those are already, I think some of those have already started. And now I'm sure those discussions will be very, very academically stimulating, and all of you will be, including us, will be very much benefited by the deliberations. And as my colleague said, it will be very apt to have a set of recommendations that is coming out from these deliberations, from these 3 days academic activities led by different scientists from different background, and that will be very, very resourceful. My colleague Professor Singh mentioned various activities of like ISRO. We are on the moon. We have approached sun. However, the government is leaving no stone unturned to do some work or to do fundamental work related to our society, related to water, related to sanitation, related to cleanliness, and so on. And it's our duty, being one of the leading institutions of this country, to cooperate, to synergize the different sources of energy, to synergize the intellectuals, and then come out with sort of recommendations and action plans, what we can do in future. I'm sure this conference will be successfully doing that at the end of the deliberations. Thank you so much. Wishing you a very successful conference here. Thank you.
Thank you for your address, Professor Sharma. Next up, we have a very special event, that is the unveiling of the abstract book of proceedings. And I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward to release the book of abstract. Thank you so much. Moving on. Now we will be distributing the IWRS Annual Awards. The Indian Water Resources Society is dedicated to advancing knowledge about technical and policy aspects in the water sector, and the society consists of a balanced blend of eminent academicians, scientists, and field engineers. And the society acknowledges the contributions from eminent scientists, engineers, and students through annual awards. Today, we will be announcing and distributing the awardees from the past 3 years. And Secretary IWRS, Professor Basant Yadav, will take over the proceedings of the award ceremony from here on.
Thank you so much, Professor Kritika. I would like to inform all of our guests that IWRS has instituted 4 awards from the year 2016, Lifetime Achievement Award, Eminent Water Resource Engineer Award, Eminent Water Resource Scientist Award, and Best Water Resource Student Award. In this function, the award will be presented to the recipient for the year 2021, 2022, and 2023. The awardee will receive a memento and citation. So, awards, the first is the Lifetime Achievement Award 2021. The Lifetime Achievement Award for the year 2021 is being presented to Engineer Ashwin B. Pandya, Secretary General ICID, New Delhi, for his lifetime outstanding national and international contribution in the field of water resources development and management. In honor and with great respect and admiration, I congratulate Sri Pandyaji and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in a few words.
dignitaries on the dais, and friends, I'm indeed grateful for the Indian Water Resources Society having recognized my achievements as a lifetime achievement, which is a very great. I don't think that I would have really expected in my career to really have this award. It is, of course, a long journey. The water resources development is a most important subject in, as a foundation of our developmental economy and socio-political integrity. And I feel that we all need to really work very hard and on a very focused agenda to achieve what we want to achieve as a developed nation in 2047. I once again thank all the IWRS dignitaries and also the IIT Roorkee for having given me this opportunity to talk to you and also to accept the award. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sri Pandyaji. Next is the Eminent Water Resource Scientist Award, which is being presented to Dr. Sunil Kumar Ambast, Chairman, Central Groundwater Board, for his immense scientific contribution in the field of water resource development and management. I congratulate Dr. Ambast and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Thank you very much, the IWRS Society, Indian Institute of Technology Roorkee, and NIH for judging me for this very coveted, prestigious award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The second Eminent Water Resource Scientist Award is presented to Dr. Rajendra Prasad Pandey, Scientist G, NIH Roorkee, for his immense scientific contribution in the field of water resource development and management. I congratulate Dr. Pandey and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Thank you, Professor Basan. From my heart, I actually thank the Indian Water Resources Society, IWRS, for choosing me for this award. Thank you very much.
Now the IWS Awards for 2022 and the Lifetime Achievement Award for the year 2022 is presented to Sri S.K. Shukla, Director THDC Limited, for his lifetime outstanding national and international contribution in the field of water resource development and management, in honor and with great respect and admiration. I congratulate Sri Shuklaji and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Very much thankful to IWRS, WRDM, IIT Roorkee for this award to me. Having completed 52 years of professional life, now 45 years old, IWRS is bestowing this award on me. I am highly grateful to the jury, to the team who have selected me for the purpose. Thank you.
The Eminent Water Source Scientist Award for the year 22 is presented to Professor Narendra Kumar Gontia, Principal and Dean, Junagadh Agricultural University, Gujarat, for his immense scientific contribution in the field of water source development and management. I congratulate Professor Gontia and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Distinguished guest on the dais, of the dais, and worthy participants. It's my great pleasure to receive this eminent scientist award from Indian Water Resources Society. I worked around 40 years in water sources management and development in Gujarat. And recently I retired from my institution, and I thanks that the society has bestowed this award. Thanks to IWRS and thank you.
Next is the Best Water Resource Student Award for the year 2022, which is being presented to Dr. Syed Ronatullah Ali, Project Scientist in the National Mission on Himalayan Studies, Project Management Unit at GB Pant NIHE, Koshi Karnakal, Almora, for his significant contribution in the field of water source development and management. Dr. Syed, he could not attend the conference, so we congratulate him and then we will send his award to his place. Now, IWRS Award 2023. The Lifetime Achievement Award for the year 2023 is presented to Sri Raj Dev Singh, former Director NIH Roorkee, for his lifetime outstanding national and international contribution in the field of water source development and management, in honor and with great respect and admiration. I congratulate Sri Singh and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Professor Pasant Yadav and dignitaries on the dais, I am very much thankful to the IWRS judging committee for considering and awarding me Lifetime Achievement Award, and the service I have rendered for about 41 years in the water resources sector. I retired as Director NIH in 2017. Subsequently, I served at Department of Water Resources Development as adjunct professor and then subsequently as a visiting professor. I am again thankful for the judging committee for awarding me this lifetime achievement award. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tri Singh. Next is the Eminent Water Source Scientist Award for the year 2023, which is being presented to Dr. Praveen Kumar Gupta, Head ISRO, Ahmedabad, for his immense scientific contribution in the field of water source development and management. I congratulate Dr. Gupta and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Good evening, everyone. I am grateful for this honor and recognition of my research work, and I am thankful for Indian Water Resources Society and the jury member for this award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta. The second Eminent Water Source Scientist Award for the year 2023 is presented to Dr. P.S. Brahmanand, Project Director, WTC, ICRIRI, New Delhi, for his immense scientific contribution in the field of water source development and management. I congratulate Dr. Brahmanand and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Namaskar to all of you. I am extremely grateful to the IWRS and IIT Roorkee and whole organizing committee for selecting me for this prestigious award. And it increases the responsibility to serve this nation better, especially in successful implementation of the flagship programs of Government of India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brahmanand. The first Best Water Source Student Award for the year 2023 is presented to Dr. Sabyasachi Swain, Scientist B at NIH Kakinada, for his significant contribution in the field of water source development and management as a student. I congratulate Dr. Sabyasachi and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Hello, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Indian Water Resources Society for selecting me for this award. And also, I would like to thank everyone who directly or indirectly contributed to my research. Thank you all.
Congratulations, Dr. Sabya. The second Best Water Source Student Award for the year 2023 is presented to Dr. Gagandeep Singh, Postdoctoral Fellow, Ohio University, USA, for a significant contribution in the field of water source development and management as a student. I congratulate Dr. Singh and invite him to deliver his acceptance note in few words.
Good evening to all. I'm very thankful that the jury has chosen me for this award. Thank you to the Indian Water Resources Society. I also want to thank Department of Water Resources Development and Management as well as IIT Roorkee to provide us such an infrastructure that we could do our research well. And of course, my guide, Professor Ashish Pandey, and all my colleagues who have supported me in this during my tenure at IIT Roorkee. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, Dr. Singh, and congratulations to all the recipients of the awards. And over to you, Professor Kritika.
Thank you so much, Professor Yadav, and many congratulations to our awardees. So I will be giving a very brief introduction about our next speaker, our chief guest, Professor V.P. Singh. Professor Vijay Pal Singh is a distinguished professor, a Regents Professor, and the inaugural holder of the Caroline and William N. Lehrer Distinguished Chair in Water Engineering at Texas A&M University, USA. He's a member of National Academy of Engineering, which is the highest award for an engineer in the United States especially. And he has published extensively in the areas of hydrology, irrigation engineering, hydraulics, groundwater, water quality, entropy theory, copula theory, and climate change impacts, with more than 1,530 refereed journal articles, 40 books, 92 edited books, and 130 book chapters. And he has received 4 honorary doctorates from Italy and Canada, and more than 110 national and international awards. And Professor Singh has also long been engaged in philanthropic activities. He founded the GB School in 1994 in his native village, Nagla Vishnu, in the district Agra, UP, in memory of his parents. And we are delighted to have Professor Singh as the chairman of the advisory committee of the conference. So over to you, Professor Singh.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kritika, for a very graceful introduction. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much to the entire organizing committee, particularly Professor Ashish Pandey, and of course, Dr. Kritika Kothari, Professor Basant Yadav, and Dr. Mohit Mohanty for putting together this very excellent conference on future of water resources. From my personal experience of having organized a number of conferences, I know what it takes to put together a really decent conference, So they have put in a lot of sleepless hours. And I think all of us should express our appreciation to them for organizing this very timely conference. Second, Professor Kapur Sarma, who is director in charge of IIT, Professor Dr. Sri Atul Jain, Dr. R.P. Singh, Dr. S.K. Ernst, Dr. M.K. Goel, Professor Pandey, Dr. Kritika Kothari, Professor Basant Yadav. Everybody is sitting on the dais, very distinguished. And of course, the distinguished participants and especially the foreign delegates. I'm particularly delighted to see that a large number of my friends have come from overseas. One of the real advantages that I see in participating in a conference like this is the opportunity that you get to see many of your friends who have not seen for many years. And this is really the case here. Many of the foreign delegates, most of the foreign delegates, either of Indian origin or otherwise, have been my friends for a very long time. And some of them I have not seen for quite some time. So it's really a distinct honor and privilege to get the opportunity to see them, because you never know. And you will have another opportunity, if at all you will have to see them. In any event, the theme of the conference is very timely, which is the future of water resources. If you look at it, as we say, Kshitijal Gagan Pamukh Samira Panchatatya Adam Sharira. So water is so vital that you might as well title this conference as the future of humanity, the future of civilization, because without water, we cannot live, we cannot survive. So the future of water resources is essentially tantamount to the future of humanity and the future of civilization, or for that matter, the future of society. So in that sense, this is a very timely conference, but the future is entirely tied to the management of water resources, and management entails essentially two aspects, technological and non-technological. But now the boundaries between technological considerations and non-technological considerations are essentially fading. We cannot do technology without incorporating the non-technological aspects. Non-technological means non-engineering and non-science. And now, of course, because science has become such a fancy jargon, that even politics is now titled as political science. Sociology is titled as social science. So in that sense, it's hard to say what is scientific and what is non-scientific. Regardless, management really cannot be undertaken in an optimal fashion without incorporating the human dimension. That means the human side of the sciences. So this is one aspect, but this also cannot be done at the level that we are doing it unless we start from the beginning. In the United States, in primary schools, the children are taught hydrologic cycle. You will not believe it. In the primary school, they are taught hydrologic cycle. So they start developing an appreciation for water, which means even though in practice they are not practicing it, because the per capita consumption in the United States is among the highest in the world. But at least the children and the people of a younger generation are beginning to appreciate how important water is. So the management also involves proper utilization, not only making water resources available at affordable cost to everybody, everywhere, all the time, but also making sure that it is properly utilized. Reduce as much wastage as possible. Also preserve the quality of water. As I said in the morning, and of course, many of the speakers spoke about the importance of water, so there is no reason for me to dwell upon, belabor that point, how important water is. But we have to understand that quality and quantity are exactly like right hand and left hand. The two have to work in tandem. They have to work in unison. And so we have to simultaneously consider both quantity and quality. Unfortunately, our history has not been that way. And this has not been that way even in educational curriculum. Somehow or other, the quantity has overwhelmingly overtaken the quality. But without quality, quantity also is meaningless. So the management also should entail these two things. The another thing that we have to emphasize if we want to preserve the future of water resources is the newer technologies will have to be incorporated in such a fashion that the technology becomes as user-friendly as possible. In order to properly utilize water, to reduce waste, to recycle waste, to reuse the water, people do not have to be trained hydrologists or hydraulic engineers. Just like you and I do not have to know the electrical engineering, how the light works, or to be automobile engineers, how the car works, even though we are driving it. So our water resources technology also will have to be reduced to this level at which manufactured products are being brought to And only then I think we will have a fuller appreciation and we will have a better management of water resources. Now, we all know that the population is growing. In fact, we have a burgeoning population. We are teeming millions of mouths every year. And of course, the land resources are reducing largely because of changes in land use and urbanization. People are actually converting productive agricultural land into urban buildings, highways and of course, residential houses. Like the United States and unlike European countries, here everybody wants to have an independent house. Just like in the US. Of course, in Europe, for example, we have two of my distinguished colleagues. One of my distinguished colleagues from Italy, there most people live in apartment. So that is one way to look at to reduce the change of agriculture, agriculturally productive land into residential areas. In other words, take advantage of the vertical space, which is what exactly China has done. You will not find any Chinese in Beijing owning a private residence. They are all building, including the president. They all stay in apartments. So the point really I'm making is that we have to be cognizant of learning from the beginning. And the way we can do it is to introduce the culture of preserving, restoring, reusing, recycling, and reducing the waste of water resources right from the beginning. And in our Hindu traditions or our Indian traditions, we start every ceremony with water, with fire, and of course with ghee or whatever other ingredient we may want to use. And wood, of course. So the point now is, how do we accomplish all this? The only way we can do it is by incorporating the newer technologies like AI. If India can send a mission to the moon, I find it very hard to believe that we cannot bring quality water to every citizen in rural areas. There's something fundamentally missing here. And what is missing here is, of course, the national will, but at the same time also the lack of proper management. We can do wonders in the area that we want to, but at the same time, we are not willing to develop resources for the common man. This has been, unfortunately, our legacy for the past 75 years, even though for the past 10, 15 years, things have started changing. This is what we have to do for any nation to develop. Everybody has to be developed. Simply having flashes of brilliance or providing conveniences to a select few is not the way to develop a country and is not the way to develop water resources. But this is exactly what has happened. Despite all the tall claims that we have for being a leading water resources nation in the world, the fact of the matter is that a vast majority of rural areas are still lacking fresh water supply. There is actually no measure for water quality as to what people are drinking. So the net result is in rural India's now, you will see widespread occurrences of cancer, diabetes, and heart attack. Why it is happening? Only for the past 10, 15, 20 years. This is what we really need to pay attention to. One of the problems is that people who are engaged in the large water resources project are also having a disconnect with the people who are living on ground zero. And this only way we can change this culture is by introducing water resources at the elementary level. So the people, when they start growing up, they start having an appreciation for water resources. Another thing, and of course, then since I've been given 10 minutes, and I have the habit of going over time in any event. Another thing I think we have to do is we have to also have an integration of academia, in other words, integration of all stakeholders entailing academia, private sector, that means the real users, and of course the government sector at all levels, not simply at a higher level, but all levels. And this integration also has to occur within academia also. And of course, Professor Sharma, director in charge of IIT, may disagree with me. But the fact of the matter is that even within IIT Roorkee, there is not as much of integration as since I spent 9 months over here, so I can speak from my personal experience. And Professor Sharma, you have to pardon me if I say something which goes against your belief, but this is the fact of the matter, that even within IIT, even within the same department, there is that lack of communication and lack of interaction and lack of collaboration. IIT Roorkee is a very unique place which has the largest concentration of water engineers on a per square meter basis in the world. Can you believe it? I mean, this is a unique distinction. And also it has a unique distinction of being situated on the banks of a river, banks of a canal, which is larger than more than 50% of the rivers across the world. Even though this is a canal, but I can tell you, I come from Texas. This canal is bigger than the largest river in the state of Texas, which is as big as the nation of France, perhaps a little bit bigger. I hope there is no French delegate here who might take an offense with me, but this is the fact. So what I'm saying is, and of course, it has another unique distinction of being located at the foothills of the highest mountain in the world. It has a lot of unique distinction. Plus, it is the only IIT and only university in the world where you find 3 government funded, 2 centrally funded government departments or institutions and 1 state government funded institution. Irrigation Research Institute, National Institute of Hydrology, and of course, the Building Research Institute, 3 very large institutes. But there is not as much communication between IITs, CBRI, and of course the NIH. Even though NIH director, my good friend Professor Goel might disagree with me, but this is exactly what I want them to do. They should disagree with me. You have such a huge concentration, and a clear-cut reflection of this disagreement is that this is the only institute where you have 3 different departments related to water. Can you believe it? Water Resources Development and Management, and Department of Hydrology, Department of Earth Sciences, and of course a large section within the Department of Civil Engineering. And when I look at the structure and the texture of the audience here, I don't find too many people from other departments. So do you support my hypothesis or not? I mean, this is where the problem is. Another thing I want to note is water is so important, as I said, water is so vital for our survival. This should be a common subject for every student of IIT. I do not care whether the student works in electrical engineering, computer engineering, metallurgical, it does not matter. Even for constructing chips, you may be surprised how much water is utilized for processing the machinery that manufactures chips. It's just unbelievable. And so which means that there are some topics that should be taught to each and every student in order to bring them home to realize the importance of water. This is the way to manage. Simply by taking a piecemeal approach or isolated approach is not going to address the problem in the wrong way. So with that, again, let me come back and say once again, thank you so very much, the entire organizing team for putting together this excellent conference. And this is particularly time timely. And for me, it is a distinct honor for several reasons. One, that I've long been associated with IIT Roorkee, with NIH, and of course, it is a delight for me to see many of my friends who have traveled from European countries, from the United States, and from Portugal and from other countries. So thank you very much, Kritika, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. So once again, let me wish the conference a grand success, and I want to wish you the very best to enjoy the conference and wish you a very blissful and joyous new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Singh. And with this, we conclude the speeches of our distinguished dignitaries. And I would like to request our students to please bring mementos. And I would like to request Director in Charge IIT Roorkee, Professor Apurv Sharma, to please present a token of remembrance to our chief guest, Professor VP Singh. So this is a painting that was prepared by the students of Anushruti Academy for the Deaf that is located at IIT Roorkee. And I would also like to request Professor Ashish Pandey and Professor Basant Yadav to please present mementos to our distinguished guests, Dr. M.K. Goyal, Shri Atul Jain ji, Dr. R.P. Singh, and Dr. S.K. Ambas. My humble request to Professor Yadav to please present the memento to Shri Atul Jain ji. To Dr. S.K. Ambas. Dr. M.K. Goyal. Dr. R.P. Singh. And last but not the least, Professor Apurv Sharma, Director in Charge, IIT Roorkee. So thank you. And at the very end, I would like to request our students, Miss Priya and Pooja, to please come forward. And I request everyone to please stand for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तब जय गाता जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the dignitaries and all the audience, all the participants. Thank you so much for your time and patience. And you may now proceed for the tea.